Ah, ladies. Always hysterical, am I right? No, I don't mean tickling your funny bone, like, say, Brett Butler, but easily driven mad by random shenanigans and prone to wild overreactions. You know the type. I don't subscribe to this old school trope because ladies can do stuff now, but here's two movies that feature women being written like complete panicky idiots. Nightmare is a Hammer film from 1964. It was written by Jimmy Sangster, who was one of the primary Hammer Films guys, writing and producing dozens of their films over the years. And it was directed by Freddie Francis, who started out as a cinematographer, became a director of several Hammer movies and others in the genre, and then transitioned back to being a cinematographer for such movies as Glory, Cape Fear, and Princess Caribou. Oh, and it's shot in Hammerscope. That's fun.
Now they've got us both, haven't they? That's how it should be. Isn't it? We're both mad, aren't we? We're both mad! No! We are, we're both mad! No!
Well, we're only 4 minutes in here, movie. Pace yourself with the screaming and the soundtracking. That's Janet. Janet has nightmares. Like, all the time. Eventually, the school she's attending can't take it anymore and sends her home to scream constantly in private. Janet's mother is in an asylum because she murdered Janet's father. Something Janet is reminded of because that's the room she's staying in while at home, I think? Seems like a bad idea, but what do I know? Also, while home, Janet starts seeing dead people. Maybe? Holy Christ, movie, with the screaming. Take it down a notch. So, the way all these pieces are being set up, my money is on all this being some kind of Scooby-Doo scheme to make her go mad, and then someone collects all the family money. Now then, the ghost woman finally shows up in real life, as she's the wife of the family lawyer. Janet, at peak crazy now, stabs the hell out of her, and then is taken away to the insane asylum as well. I'll be damned. It's literally a Scooby-Doo plot, as the nurse assigned to monitor Janet was pretending to be the ghost woman, complete with Mission Impossible mask. She and the family lawyer conspired to make Janet crazy and then inherit the family estate. Huh. But so here's the thing. That was only the first 2/3 of Nightmare. From there, the lawyer and the nurse get married, and then everything gets weird. They're married for like 36 hours, and then bit by bit, the nurse starts getting super suspicious of her new husband. And he's completely confused by her suspiciousness. And they fight.
You can deny it until you're blue in the face, but listen to me. You might have been all kinds of a gay boy before, but you're married to me now, till death do us part, and I intend to keep it that way. Understand? So if you've got any ideas about getting rid of me, you can forget them. Because we are tied together legally. And because of what happened back there at Hightowers.
And they fight some more.
I've worked hard for what we've got now. My wife's money. And all this as well. And I don't intend to have the satisfaction spoiled for me by a hysterical female who doesn't know when she's well off.
So you'd throw me out, would you?
If I have to.
Since you can bring in that other woman.
I'm beginning to wish there was another woman I could bring in. I think we understand each other.
Suddenly, this new movie about two criminals shouting at each other all the time is fascinating. And then the nurse starts seeing spooky ghost people, thinking Janet has escaped the asylum to exact revenge. While the first two acts seemed totally predictable, I had no clue what the hell was going on in this final act, and that was a lot of fun. In fact, everything about it, including the final explanation for the entire plot, is perfect. Well done, Nightmare. Your third act totally saved the movie, and pushed it into recommendation territory.
You know, did you ever see the movie The Sentinel, Mr. Peterson? It's about the old guy who owns the apartment, which is kind of like the gateway to hell.
No, I didn't see that.
That's how I was made aware of 1977's The Sentinel. Yep, it's all thanks to Joe Dante's The Burbs, which if you've never seen, you're missing out. Turns out that clip basically tells you all you need to know about The Sentinel, because that simple bit of dialogue is essentially the finale of the film. The other notable thing about The Sentinel is its cast. Sure, you've got Chris Sarandon and Burgess Meredith and Martin Balsam and John Carradine and Eli Wallach, but then in smaller roles, you've also got Beverly D'Angelo and Christopher Walken and Jeff Goldblum. Sadly, Jeff Goldblum is entirely dubbed by some chump, which, how dare you?
Quick, give me the other camera. I'm not going to get it like this again. Now let's see. Christ's sake, hold him.
Here, Bertie, here, Bertie. Come on. Oh, my God.
Get them on the cement.
Come back, come on.
Oh, Christ.
Hell, Richard Dreyfuss is just standing in the background of one scene in one of the most pointless cameos ever. The plot is that a model played by Christina Rains gets an apartment which turns out to be haunted and is also defended by holy sentinels to prevent the demons from opening up the gates of hell and coming into our world, or something like that. Of course, because you have to have things going on in the rest of the movie to make it a movie, she doesn't know that the ghosts are actually ghosts at first, and she hangs out with all of them. Then she finds out they're ghosts and starts going crazy, and then the police think her boyfriend is trying to make her crazy, because apparently he has a history of doing that kind of shady stuff. But nope, there's ghosts and it's all real. Also, she's there because she's the next chosen one to save the universe from demons, probably. Apparently this was a rough shoot for all involved, as no one seemed to get along with director Michael Winner of Scream for Help fame. Chris Sarandon alludes to this in his interview on the Resurrected Blu-ray. Reportedly, Christina Rains would cry on her way to the set each morning. That's how much she hated the experience. Some of this can be confirmed via 3 commentary tracks on the disc, one with Rains, one with writer-producer Jeffrey Novitz, and finally one with director Winner, who does not hold back, especially in regards to Sarandon. There's also an interview with the film's assistant director, Ralph Singleton, the only person willing to talk about this production on camera, although he mostly talks about how he got started in the business. I think the main problem with The Sentinel, despite its lackadaisical pacing, is how overwrought a lot of it is. I mean, whenever faced with the possibility of conflict, our lead character runs and locks herself in a room and attempts suicide. Like, take a breath, lady. So your 95-year-old dad was having an orgy when he didn't think you'd be home from school early. It's not so earth-shattering that you need to slit your wrists over it. Also, she should have gotten her deposit back and moved out the second she first interacted with the weirdo ghosts in her building, but whatever, that's horror movies.